Now it's time to get on with the repair side of it all. What we're looking to do is two things. One, remove any loose material that's not going to be any use to us. Get rid of that. The second thing is we want to marry the new material up to the original prop the best we can, so that what we get is a really strong repair to it. We don't want to just join it. So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of taking this tip and cutting it off, what we want to do is use all that area to marry up with the new material, and that way we're going to end up with a strong prop and not a weak one. All the material around here is nice and strong. There's no bits flaking off, so this will be a really good repair. Equally on the other half of the wing we've got wing. It's a prop view helmet. Equally on the other half of the prop we have got nice firm material. Oh, hold on. No, right, that bit's out. Good. And that's out. Okay, so now we've got a nice opening in which to get new material into. Now, the other thing we have is a crack going down here. And that crack has got to be stopped from going any further and repaired. So we need to take some of that material out. The easiest way for me to do that is with an angle grinder. This one, you've got speeds on it, and you can slow it right down. As opposed to whippingly fast. So let's use the slow speed and get that opened up. Using coarse grit emery cloth, I'm just going to rub the area around there. This will allow for good keying of the new material. Make sure that the area is well sanded, dry and free of grease and dust. And if you're going to blow it, make sure you wipe your lips so you don't introduce moisture. These two parts of the prop are now prepared and ready to be filled. So let's get some resin mixed up and get them really good. Before we mix the resin and hardener up, I want to give you some really valuable tips. I want you to hold this in your mind when you are doing your mixture. Resin about the size of a golf ball requires hardener about the size of a pea. It's that kind of quantities. If you overdo it with the hardener, it doesn't make the compound any harder, but what it does do is set real quick and you don't get time to work it. Now the other thing is we've got to get the material into that crack and into where it's been cut out. Now we can use two things. Something like this to try and push it in, something like the end of a screwdriver to try and push it in, but I prefer to use this one, the one you pick your nose with, that digit. That really does get it in there nicely. You'll see in a moment. Okay, bit of cardboard, resin paste, hardener and a screwdriver to mix it up. Look at the amount you think you're going to need, take it out, and I'm looking at that much, and that is generous. That's too much actually. That's in fact half of that is what's going to be needed. That. This really is sticky, gooey stuff. Right, that out of the way. Where's the lid? There. Now, hardener. And like I say, you only get a little bit of time to work with this. Takes about 20 minutes to harden off good. Whoa, that was way too much. I can't move it now, but that was just way too much. See that? That means I'm not going to get a lot of time to work it. Let's go, let's see what happens. Mix it in. There we go. Right, that is well mixed in. Now, grab hold of it, smooth it over, and then start to push it in with your finger. Don't be frightened, it won't bite you, but what it will do is make a very nice repair. A little bit more up on the top. Where does the sellotape come in, you wonder? Well, that's about to come in just a moment. Once I feel that I have got the right amount sitting on there, like that. Right, now, very quickly, very quickly, get rid of that. Lay that across there. Find the sellotape, which is something I should have done in the first place, because I've put way too much hardener in there and I know it's going to go off quickly. Put the sellotape on, way too much, as in way too longer, and then smooth it like that. And the same the other side. Where's it gone? There. And then smooth it out like that. It's not an exact science. You work it, you rub it down, you add a bit more, you rub it down until you get the exact profile that was originally there, and or more or less as close to it, and then it's good. But you'll see it as we go on. Right, so that's that one done. Now we move on to the other one. That is now, oh, do you know what? I might get away with that. Go on, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. There could be enough here to do it. So take a hold of it and start working it in, pushing it down into it. This may very well need a second amount in here because I haven't got enough, but I don't mind that. Nope, I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to do that and make sure I get it in there. In fact, I'm going to open that up like that and find some extra, take a hold of it and get that in there really good, like so. Let it go. That will now bond up beautifully. Okay, let's have a clean up. 20 minutes have passed, which is the kind of time I like to leave it. How do we know that it's actually set? By having a feel of what's left on the screwdriver and on there. Pick your prop up, give it a touch. It shouldn't be tacky, and they should be, the bit should be fairly firm. Okay, that's good. And that's good too. So now let's have a really close look and see what they're looking like. But remember, you will normally never ever get this done in one application. The first half of the prop is going to want building up there, and it's going to want building up in there, but a rub down will clearly tell us what we need to apply next. The other half we just peel off the sellotape, and what that gives us is a nice smoother surface and a lot easier to rub down. Again, a good rub down on that and we'll know what else we've got to apply. Looking good. Using some coarse sandpaper, just gently start to take the rough off it. That's all you want to do, is take the rough off. That's it. And that's it. Just to take the rough off it. Then we go over to smoother paper. Now we start to take down the raised areas. So obviously I don't want to be rubbing around here. It's the raised areas I want to be working on. And this does take a bit of time, moving the prop around and gently going for it. Take your finger, have a feel, and if you can feel a lip, then you just carry on. And you keep going like that. You see, that has now gone beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. So I leave that alone and I carry on working around. So I'll get this bit ready and then we'll come back and have a look at it. Having rubbed them down and given them a bit of a blowout, we can see that they need a little bit more building up. And we can see this area here wants a little bit more building up. That crack has been filled beautifully and is lovely and smooth. And on the back end, we can see that that little bit there is looking really good. So I'm going to finish these off and then we'll come back and have a look at the finished product. This prop is well on its way to being sorted out. The repair areas are looking really good on both sides. So what we've got to do now is take this name off. That's really easy. Sand it all down and then spray it up. How important is it to look pretty? Well, of course it is. If your Paramotor looks pretty, you want your prop looking pretty. After I've completed the repairs on this one, I'll balance the pair of them, paint them, and then finally we have to test them.